The idea that aging is inevitable and irreversible used to be treated like gospel, something you simply accepted as you stockpiled eye cream and calcium supplements. But modern science is giving that fatalistic view a major rewrite. Yes, aging happens. No, it doesn't have to accelerate in your 50s like your cells just got a bad performance review. In fact, many of the major biological shifts that make 50 feel like a cliff, chronic inflammation, declining immunity, tissue breakdown can be delayed, softened, and in some cases even reversed if you start early enough. The key is not to wait until you feel old. The key is to begin in the decades when your body still believes it's invincible, and that, for most people, means now. Why before 50? Because around that age, the body hits a known biological inflection point. Studies tracking thousands of circulating proteins in the blood have found that age-related changes in protein expression spike around this time, particularly proteins linked to inflammation, tissue damage, and metabolic dysfunction. This proteomic surge isn't random. It's the biochemical signature of the body beginning its slow retreat from repair mode into decline mode. And it's not just about wrinkles or energy dips. These proteins are linked to heart disease, neurodegeneration, frailty, and overall biological age acceleration. But here's the good news. That spike is heavily influenced by what you did or didn't do in the 10 to 20 years prior. The biggest needle mover? Movement. Regular exercise, especially strength training and cardio, can flatten the proteomic aging curve more effectively than any pill currently on the market. It boosts the production of protective myokines, beneficial proteins released by muscle, supports mitochondrial health, and improves insulin sensitivity. It also sends anti-inflammatory signals to your immune system, reducing the production of the exact proteins that spike later in life. The earlier you build muscle and metabolic flexibility, the more biological slack you give yourself when aging picks up speed. Right behind movement is diet, not in the eat clean, generic sense, but in the choose foods that affect your cellular signaling sense. Protein quality matters, not just quantity. Diets rich in amino acids from lean sources help maintain muscle mass and fuel repair processes. Polyphenol from plants like berries, olives, and green tea target inflammatory pathways and help modulate the expression of stress-related proteins. Omega-3 fatty acids help regulate immune reactivity and reduce the likelihood of chronic inflammation taking root in midlife. And fasting? Not just trendy. It can suppress the mTOR pathway, which accelerates aging when chronically active, and activate autophagy, your body's internal cleanup crew for damaged proteins. Stress, predictably, plays villain here. Chronic psychological stress, even low level, can accelerate aging through the overproduction of cortisol and other stress hormones. These not only interfere with sleep and metabolism, but also upregulate inflammatory proteins. In short, unrelenting stress makes your body feel older, faster. Practices like meditation, breathwork, time in nature, and yes, even having a consistent social life with people who don't drain your soul can keep your stress biology more aligned with someone years younger. It's less about feeling calm and more about preventing cellular panic from becoming your body's default setting. And then there's the sci-fi turned real category, emerging anti-aging therapies. Senolytics, a class of compounds designed to eliminate senescent, non-functioning but inflammatory cells, have shown promise in early human trials for improving tissue health and reducing age-related decline. NAD+ boosters like NMN or NR, though still controversial, are being studied for their role in mitochondrial function and DNA repair. Rapamycin and its derivatives, which affect the mTOR pathway, are being investigated as long-term modulators of aging rate. These aren't quite ready for mass over-the-counter use, but they're no longer fantasy. They're early-stage reality, and the pipeline is full. The truth is, the body is extraordinarily responsive in the years before things start slipping. Before 50, your systems are still robust enough to adapt, rewire, and rebound if given the right inputs. Most of the damage that shows up later, frailty, fatigue, chronic inflammation, brain fog, is seated in midlife, not old age. And because aging accelerates exponentially, the earlier you slow the curve, the more dramatic the payoff becomes later on. So yes, you can absolutely slow aging before 50. But you don't start by chasing youth, you start by giving your body what it needs to keep performing like it hasn't read your birth certificate. And the sooner you start, the more your 50s will feel like a continuation, not a crisis. Aging well isn't about fighting nature, it's about working with it before it stops negotiating.